Mhm. Hello, Anna. Where are you from? Tell me.
Oh, you use the same before Gabriel Eternal. Yes.
So we are here.
Yeah.
We are here
Yes.
in this amazing episode it's our first episode, and we are very excited about this because Anna is, where are you from, Anna?
I'm from Russia, from Moscow City, and Maria.
I
Where are
am
you?
from Mexico, of course. Can you see the pictures behind me? Cactus, nopal. So, of course, I'm Mexican. And it's very interesting, the topic that we are going to talk about, because it is like a taboo, and at the same time, some people consider it a little bit boring, or I don't know. But with us, everything is going to change. Okay, the topic we are going to talk about is loneliness. Okay? A lot of people think that loneliness is to be alone or to be in solitude. That's completely wrong, because loneliness and solitude are two different things. So, just to be clear, I will just read um, a small definition of loneliness. And loneliness is the state of distress that results when one perceives a gap between one's desires for social connection and the actual experiences. So basically, what the internet says about loneliness is that we don't feel connected with other people. I think
We
that loneliness has a lot of different backgrounds. So, what do you think is solitude, Anna? Like, what is solitude?
it sounds for me like person choose to be like a solo, like by themselves, and they are feel completely fine with this, and they don't feel this gap that you mentioned before. But I'm pretty sure that everybody of us have experienced loneliness in some way, and we didn't recognize it maybe, and also didn't we don't aware that it's problem for everybody, especially in our century. So yes.
Yeah, that's true. And a lot of people, I've seen that a lot of people confuse the solitude or to be alone uh, with loneliness. So loneliness to me is basically something that goes deeper. Like, it's to me like it's an infirmity of the soul, so to say. So it goes deeper. It has a lot of psychological definitions and a lot of studies that have been made, and people that feel lonely, whatever. But basically, if we use our common sense, is that need that we have to connect with others, and this need is not being accepted by the others, perhaps, or perhaps we don't know how to connect. The main point here is that this need that we feel is not being has not been uh I forgot the word.
It's
You
okay.
can cut this part.
Maybe I will save it. It's more
Yeah.
natural.
Uh-huh. So we are not connecting with others in loneliness. And when we are alone, sometimes we just want to be alone and we feel just fine. When we are in solitude, or when we are just in our house, in our houses, just having fun with ourselves, it doesn't matter. And it's very different from loneliness. You can be surrounded by a lot of people and you will still feel this emptiness inside you. No one understands you. And you know what? I watched a video some months ago about United States. The suicides in one of their states is actually very high. A lot of young people commit suicide. And the very interesting thing about these cases, and I think it's not just in the United States, but in the whole world, the cases with suicide, many of them, the families of the people that killed, um, that committed suicide, the families, they don't know. They didn't know what was going on with their lives. They thought that they were very happy because most of the times these kind of people, they just feel like they want
Uh,
not feel. You can cut whatever.
yes,
You are the master of addition. So, are you coughing?
yes, I'm a little sick. Yes.
Okay, so most of the times the families, they didn't know what was going on with this person's life. So they saw these people and they saw their like they were very happy and they were having a normal life and everything was just fine. And then they commit suicide. So of course there is something missing there. And most of the time people are very scared of expressing themselves because I know it sounds very, I don't know, perhaps controversial or stupid or silly or whatever, but we are in an era in which everybody shares their lives. You know, on social media, we share everything. And so people, we still think that this fake life that we share on social media is the real one. So when a person is having problems with their lives, they won't, usually they don't share it. Okay, they don't say, oh yes, look, my husband punched me yesterday. You know, it's like it's not a very common thing. Still some people do that, but and so when we try to wear this mask in social media, people still believe it. I don't know why, if we all know deep inside that all this social media stuff is a fake. It's a fake life. It's a fake everything. And then the people, it's like as if we were living two lives, two separate lives, right? The one that we, the real one, and the
Mhm.
one that we share in social media. So
Really?
it's very, I don't know. It's weird to me. Like, why do we do that? If we need to keep the things private, then okay, but you can also share your emotions, your feelings with someone that is close to you. And people are very scared of that. People are very scared of that, of talking about emotions, or they just talk about the emotion is on trend. But the loneliness is growing and growing and growing. And also, you know, in Europe, a lot of people, of old people, they are lonely, extremely lonely. And they basically die because of sadness, because no one cares about them. So imagine that you have a very beautiful family, and then all of a sudden your children decide to abandon you, and yeah, you die of loneliness. Basically, that is what is happening in Europe. So it's a huge problem that goes very like deeper than just a psychological thing, you know?
Yes, and we should just care about it. What's the reasons of loneliness, anyways?
I think the reason of loneliness is basically the selfish ideas that we have. Um, we create this society in which we must think about first me, and then me. Okay, it's all about I. It's we were not born to think only about ourselves. I'm not saying that thinking about oneself is just a horrible thing. No, of course not. But we just forget about others. And so it is, you know, on the it has a very great impact on your brain when you think about others. And I mean a good, a positive impact on your brain when you think about others, when you don't think about just only you. So it is very interesting what happens with your brain when you just give something, for example, or when you make someone smile, that is like you, for example.
Don't ask
And
why I'm laughing all the time.
that is your laugh, okay? Your Russian laugh, okay?
Yeah.
Of course. So yes, it's amazing what you can do for others just with a little bit of effort. It doesn't take too much, to make someone happy. So I basically think that is that, and also, we have, I think we have a soul, and so we try to fill all these vacuums inside us, all these gaps that we feel inside us, that we are trying to fill them with material things. Uh, and of course, that is why you can see, or we can see a lot of successful people out there, lots of money, all the cars, all the girls or the boys they want to have, everything, and they end up committing suicide. So you're like, okay, then it's obvious that there is something else, like something higher than we just need to connect with. And so I think that it's basically those two things, that we forget that we are not just only, the flesh, that we have our spiritual side. And the other one is just the selfish ideas that we have this time and this era. Is like, it's impressive, really. It's like, and we have never been so miserable in our lives. And now we are so miserable. We have all the things that we can have. Life is easy, very easy for most of us, and we have all the technology and we have everything, but we feel miserable and we feel empty. So people just they are afraid of thinking that what is going on. Something is going on, and we just don't use our brains, basically.
Yes.
Hmm.
Speaking of what, actually, we don't think too much about what bothers us. We don't pay attention to our emotions. And we like not noticing what's happening with us and living our visual, imaginable life. But of course, we need just stop and uh, think in the moment how I feel, why, and what I'm going to do with my life. Mm, And we're speaking not about having a car or house, but your your unique life in your natural way with fulfilling your emotions and stuff. So yes, about this. And also I think the loneliness have caused because just we can't uh, share our feedback, communicate properly. We don't often have normal friends, and we not trying to have them. Uh, we forgot about living a life in community. Maybe, as Maria said, a lot of people surround us, but it doesn't matter if we can't build strong and normal connections with each other.
Yes. You know what I've seen lately is that it's a very funny thing that we have the social media all to ourselves. It's like an open source that in which we can just upload literally our feelings, our lives, our everything. And yet, if you don't think the way most of the people think, if you don't act the way the trends tell you to act, somehow you become a weirdo. And that, of course, that creates loneliness, because in a time in which we are supposed to be very like free and feel this freedom and just express ourselves, if you just pop into social media, it's like everything is the same. everything is the same. People think that they are very original. People think that they are thinking the right way all the time. And when you actually stop a little bit and think about it, what you see on social media, everybody is just posting the same stuff. And everybody
Yeah.
is just talking about the same things. And everybody, so the ones that dare to think otherwise, the ones that dare to say, wait a second, I do not agree with this, they are kind of, they are the weirdos. And so they are tagged as the weirdos. So it is actually not the freedom. That is not a freedom. That is tyranny, literally, because we cannot think what we want to think. We must think what others tell us to think, and we don't stop a little bit to think, okay, who is the one that is commanding us, or the ones, or whatever, to think this way? Who are the ones that are just setting the trends? Who are the ones that tell us, no, you cannot think that way? And somehow that also creates like a social loneliness. And it is becoming dangerous because many people think, okay, then I should think that way. But in reality, we have brains and we still use them sometimes. So
Yeah.
so I think it's very hmm, it's very dangerous. It is very dangerous. Nowadays, it is very dangerous to think because the trend is not to think. So the trend is, okay, you should do what I tell you to do. You should post what I tell you to post. And of course, a lot of people feel lonely this way because if I do not agree with the rest of you, then I am not accepted as a human or what? So that is another source of loneliness. And I think that is the one of the biggest sources of loneliness, the social media. We are supposed to be connected to others through social media, and in reality, it's just a fake life that we are having, and no one is connecting because everything is fake. You can ghost anyone, like you can just disappear. You can create a false profile or just a fake one. You know, I think that we live in the world of lie. Literally, it's just like that. And so we don't know to whom. It's very easy, okay? It's very easy when you feel lonely that people will tell you you should open to someone, you should talk to someone. What if you don't trust anyone? What should we do then? Any ideas? If you don't trust anyone, or if you don't know if that person is not going to, like, is that person my real friend? Um, how could we know this? How could we just open to someone? Uh,
Speaking of this, I noticed that when I have some problems in something, I'm just rather speaking with AI than with the real person because I don't want to trouble someone with my problems. So it's easier to resolve it in my head or something. And it's unnatural. So maybe we just should speak about how to work with it, how to solve this problem.
yeah, create a community that use the brain. Literally. Because because I am sure there are lots of people out there that think the same. It is just a lot of people, we are just so scared of using our brains. So we were talking last time that we made a video call, and I was telling you about this video I watched of this guy that is explaining the way that society now works. And it is very interesting because he says that imagine that you have in a bowl two kinds of ants, okay? Uh, the black ones, they're small ones, and the red ones, okay? And they are just living their lives happily. But then someone comes and grab the bottle and shake it. And suddenly, the ants start to attack each other, to kill each other, but they never thought of who was the one that shake the bottle. Just they just started, something happened, and they started killing each other. So it is the same with us right now. We actually we have a lot of um, selfish thoughts, a lot of aggressive thoughts, a lot of aggressive behaviors. All the world is like chaos, you know, and but we never stop to think who is the one that has the idea of shaking the bottle in which we are, you know. It's like it's not a conspiracy theory, it's just the way the way it works, you know. If you stop and think who is the one that started trends, who knows, we just follow the trend, you know. So it's just crazy, but it's interesting because that creates loneliness, and a lot of things creates loneliness nowadays. People many years ago, I think they were happier. They were like, life was not as easy as it is now, but somehow the people were just, you know, happier with what they had, and that was it. And you are happy with the means that you have, and you don't look for the millions, you know. And I'm not saying that we should be, can you hear that noise?
I don't.
No,
No.
it's a lot of noise here. Uh, so
Mm.
so a lot, so the people just, you know, they they didn't want to, the trend now is to, for example, to be a millionaire in 1 week. And you can find the videos on YouTube, and it's like, okay, but what if I don't want to be a millionaire? What then? Am I a failure because I don't want to have these thousands and thousands of millions? And no, you are not. It's like all these trends come to us, and we just don't stop to think what we want, what we really want, you know? Everything, we don't have the time to think. That is the problem. And so we don't have the time to think, what do I want? What is the purpose of my life? And then loneliness comes because we are living a fake life and we don't connect with others. Of course not, because it's all fake.
And especially we don't connect with ourselves.
With
We have
ourselves,
a
exactly.
block between us real and what we living, you know. It's like a puppet. It's like
Uh-huh.
an ant in the bottle. You can imagine anything, but um, just people live in their heads because they're thinking a lot of thoughts that are actually don't there. It just someone's thoughts, someone wanted to we to think of it. So I wanted to say about what? Let me remember it. Mm, oh, well, yeah. Uh, I've forgotten about my
You forgot? Okay.
my point. Okay, about our scare. Yes, I think we just too scared people with deep negative emotions and problems, and it's easier to manipulate people with such emotions because we just cut off of ourselves and of other people. We just distance ourselves. And when we have strong community, like it was before or the centuries, it's it's too hard to manipulate communities because they are support each other, they are they can speak their opinions, their mind, and nobody will be hurt because of it if it's healthy community, of course.
Yeah,
So
I completely agree. Yeah, sure. So it's very difficult, because now we are lonely. Basically, we are lonely, all of us. We are alone and we are also lonely. And so I don't know, it's very, I think back in those days of which you're talking about, it was like easier to be alone and to feel comfortable being alone. It was no problem. You're alone, okay, fine. No problem, because you had the community to go to when you felt lonely. But now we are lonely all the time. And we don't want the worst about it is that we don't want to make this effort to come out from this loneliness that we have. Because somehow we know that perhaps if I just try to come out from this emotional state in which I am, people won't care, because we are just basically, as I told you before, selfish. Now the we have created, or we are living in a very selfish society. So it's just that. So why would you just go to tell someone about your problems if they don't care? You know? So it is very sad to me because we could basically, with just a little bit of effort, we could create a wonderful community of people that support each other, that
Mhm.
listen to each other, that you could learn from each other. One thing that I've seen is that the elder people, they are very lonely because the younger generations, we don't care about what they have to tell us. So there are some cultures in which the elder people are very taking into consideration, they are very respected, and the young people learn from the elder ones. So it's like the perfect match, the elders with the younger generation. So we could learn a lot from each other, but we are just so selfish, or we just don't care, or so there is a lot of apathy as well. And it's just we don't care, and that's it. So we should do something about it, definitely, because just if not, we all are going to die. No, of course not, but it's a very sad life. In which we are
That
boomers. We are going to die. uh, so yeah, it is. We could learn a lot from each other. We could support each other. We don't even need to do this great effort to, oh yes, I need to climb the Everest, whatever. Of course not. It's just, you see what you can do with a smile. You smile at people, and all of a sudden your mood changes and their mood changes. So it's just like that. It's just the basic, empathy. And we just don't care, and that is so sad. But we are here to create a strong community, right, Anna?
of course,
Of
of
course.
course, it's our main goal, and of
Uh-huh.
course, we wanted to help others to just be aware of what they're facing and help them to face all those things and being connected with each other, just like
Yeah, of
this.
course. Like, for example, you and I, we are connected. We are, even though we live literally in the other side, in the opposite parts of the world. It's just we are connected to each other, and we think very similar in many topics.
Yes.
And yeah, it's amazing to find people like you and I. That, oh my God, I've never thought really that I could find a Russian girl that would become my friend and would think similar to me. Like, of course not. It was just not possible to me. But now, here we are.
We
So
even
it's,
have dogs, both of us.
of course.
Yes, and I think that is example of diversity connections that we can create, because no matter what politics or whatever happens in our countries, we just normal people, and as you said, about the simple things that we can do, there will be they will make this world much better if we just smile to others, or maybe we just speak with our parents, relatives, whatever, or go and help your brother to solve the problem. But what do you think? Um, sorry. It's
About this.
uncomprehensible words. Okay.
What do I think about it or what?
What do you think? I mean, it's also about priorities. So
Mm,
when you think of it and hunting your millions or success, whatever, uh, just think a little about the present moment and simple things that you can do and really change lives of your environment.
yeah, for sure. And communication is something that artificial intelligence is not going to change. It has not the power, and it won't have the power to that humans have to communicate. It can be like a copy of that, but communication is just a part of human being. So just to, yeah, just to be a little bit warmer with each other, and that's it. I mean, it doesn't take too much, actually. It's just the basic stuff. One thing that I've discovered and I read on the Panoramic some months ago here in my city is that a great percentage of teenagers, when they have problems, they go to internet and to try to solve them for solutions instead of their parents. More than 60% of teenagers go to internet. So I think parents should just wake up
Of course.
and do something about it. And yeah, so communication and human warmth. That's it.
So yes, we must educate ourselves on these topics because nobody teach it, but maybe in some countries, but it's not common.
Hmm.
And also we must be more simple with each other, because when we think for others, what they do, why they do, and etc., we just live in our imaginable world. We just need to be simple and kind. Yes.